Good morning, class, and you are welcome to further mathematics class. I need to remind you that this is further mathematics and that you have to be completely attentive. You have to pay attention to details. There are a lot of details in further mathematics that you need to be grounded with, okay? You need to know, so they will form the basis for your success in further mathematics. And this is the main thing. This is one of the main things, sorry. Okay, so please be very, very attentive to what I'm going to be doing here. And if you have any questions at the end of the class, we know. Okay, now we have introduced these quadratic equations already, and I've explained it, I've defined it for you. So all I need now from you is to pay attention to these steps for solving quadratic equations by factorization. So if you notice, we are going to solve this question. See, these ones have something in common. The first three here, they have something in common. Like the power 2 here, there's power 2 here, there's power 2 here, but this one, the power 2 is here in the second term. So the first terms here contain power 2. That means these three are in standard form because the first one is in power 2, the second term power 1, and then the third term is power 0. And so it is a constant term because there is no x there. Power 0 means x becomes 1. Okay? X power 0 becomes 1. So this is not in standard form. You have to rearrange this one. So anytime you want to solve a quadratic equation and it is in a form other than this, so you have to take it back to this, starting with the highest power, which is 2, and I define quadratic equation as a quadratic equation in x as an equation in which the highest power of x is 1. Okay, so let's start. Solution. We start with the first one. Please pay attention to details. I have 2x squared here minus 11x plus 14 is equal to 0. This is what I have. All I'm going to be doing here is, you see the coefficient of x squared here. Coefficient means the number multiplying that term or that letter. Okay, so the coefficient of x squared here is 2, sorry. The coefficient of x here is minus 11, and then the constant term. So all we're going to be doing is find the product. The first step here is this. Find the product of the first and last coefficient. The first and last coefficients, 2 and 14, right? Because there is x power 0 here, okay? So these are the first and last terms, okay, or coefficients. So now, product is equal to 2 times 14, which is equal to 28, okay? Now, there is something we call the sum, and the sum is the middle term. The sum is the middle term. Sum equal to the middle term. Here it is equal to minus 11. Coefficient of middle term, sorry. Sum is equal to coefficient of the middle term, which is equal to minus 11. Now, these two things, what am I going to do with these two things? Find two numbers. Find two numbers whose product is 28, like this, and sum is minus 11. How do we go about finding these two numbers? This is where the work is. You have to pay serious attention here. Okay, there is something we call possibilities. How do I get these possibilities? Possibilities are obtained from the product. Don't forget this. Possibilities come from the product. We do not use the sum for the possibilities. We use the product. The product here is 28. That's what we use for the possibilities, right? All right. I'll start off. What are the factors of 28? All the factors of 28 have to be considered here. I start with the first factor of 28, okay, which is 1 and 28. If I multiply 1 by 28, I get 28, so it is a possibility. If I multiply minus 1 and minus 28, I get 28 also, because minus times minus is plus, right? Now, the next factor of 28 is 2, because 2 can go in 28, so I will use it. 2 and what? 14, all right? Or minus 2 and 14. What else? 3 cannot go in 28, so 3 isn't a factor of 28. What about 4? Yeah, it can go. 4 and 7, or minus 4 and 7. Can you see that? What next? Or minus 4 and minus 7. Sorry. Here is minus 14 also. Both have to be negative, right? All right. Next, I look at 5. 5 isn't a factor of 28. What about 6? No. 7? Yes, I've used 7. 8? No. 9? No. 10? No. 11? No. 12? 13? 14 is a factor. I've used it already, so I'm not going to use 14 again. Going to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, up to 28. None is a factor until you get to 28. 28 is a factor, and I've used it already. See that? I'm done. So now what I'm going to be doing is finding two numbers, finding the sum of all these numbers. Which one would give me minus 11? Which one would give me minus 11? This minus 11. So now I add this and this. If you add this and this, you get 29. It is not, it does not satisfy the condition. This and this will produce minus 29. Minus 29, sorry. No, this and this, if you add them, 2 plus 14, they give you 16. No, this and this will produce minus 16. No, this and this will produce 11. We are close. See, 4 plus 7 is 11. But is it 11 I'm looking for? No, I'm looking for minus 11. So this one also does not satisfy the condition, because it is giving me plus 11 instead of minus 11. So the next one is minus 4 minus 7 is minus 11. Good. This is the correct one. This is the correct one. So that means that, therefore, we have minus 4x and minus 7x, because the equation is in x. So I can put my minus 4x and minus 7x now. What am I going to do with this? Minus 4x and minus 7x. I am going to replace, if you say minus 4x minus 11x, minus 4x minus 7x is the same thing as minus 11x. See that? So I'm going to replace minus 11x by minus 4x minus 7x. So let me rewrite the equation here. I have it. Therefore, we have 2x squared minus 11x plus 14 is equal to 0, right? This is what we have. Now I can replace this minus 11x by the new numbers I got. Minus 4x minus 7x. Then my plus 14 is here. Any trouble with this? No. And so it means that I can do some factorization here. I will have 2 can go and x can go. So I can take out 2x. Is the HCF of the two terms. So I'm going to have x minus 2 here. See? This is factorization. You learned this from JSS 3, okay? Now between this term and this, but there is something I want to explain here. Remember, I told you about details. Make sure you pay attention to details. I have minus here, a negative number here. Anytime there is a negative on this term, and there's another term, you need to factorize, right? So you pull out the negative. If I put, you see, first of all, 7 can go in 14, right? I'll put minus 7. The moment there is a negative here, the sign here is going to change. If the sign here is positive, it will become negative. If it is negative, it will become positive, and so on. So I pull out minus 7, you see? So I'm going to have x left here, minus 2. Why is this minus? Because there is a negative here. If it were positive, then it remains, nothing is going to be affected here. But because this is negative, here is going to change to its opposite sign, which is negative. If it were minus here, it will become plus. See? now is equal to 0. You see now, this is a proper check because this and this have to be the same. You see, x minus 2, x minus 2. That is it. So now I can take one of these, take them. X minus 2. See that? Then what is left? 2x minus 7. 2x minus 7. 2x minus 7. That's where I got the other one. So it's equal to 0. Now, I've told you about the principle that if AB is equal to 0, it means AB means A times B, right? Then either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. That is the conclusion. One of them must be 0. One of them must be 0. It applies to this because now this is going to be A, this is going to be B, right? Therefore, now I have either, because this times this is equal to 0, these two brackets multiplying themselves, I have either x minus 2 is equal to 0 or 2x minus 7 is equal to 0. And so I have x is equal to 2 or 2x is equal to 7. So here, x is equal to 2, or if you divide both sides by 2 here, you're going to have x is equal to 7 over 2. Or you can have, let me just do like this, x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 3 whole number 1 over 2. So I've solved this quadratic equation. I hope you understand it. Now, in the next video, we're going to see the solution to the last one. But before that, I want you to solve C. You're going to solve C. Let's see, okay? Thank you.